A little disclaimer before we get rolling here. You're about to hear some ads. They are all from local entities that want to support the baseball community. A lot of these guys have deep connections. We're players themselves, so if you see having a need for any one of these services, please go patronize these guys. Thank you. We are also brought to you by Milner Dentistry, located at 755 South Grand Avenue West. They can be reached at 217-528-3384. Dr. Ty and his staff are incredible. The place is clean. They do amazing work. They can handle all your dentistry needs. Thanks again to Dr. Ty for agreeing to sponsor us here. He was a standout at Rochester, SCI, and then later had a really cool story of walking on at the U of I. Have a ton of respect for this guy. Please go support Dr. Ty and Milner Dentistry. We are also brought to you by Matt Brewer. Matt is an attorney here in town at the law offices of Stephen Kelly. Matt exclusively practices in the areas of personal injury and workers' compensation. He can be reached at 217-544-8000 or mbrewer@stephenkelly.com. I loved competing against this guy growing up. He was an SHG grad, 2002, stud in football and baseball, went on to star for Dan Callahan at SIU Carbondale, and then had a one-year career pitching in the Diamondbacks organization. I ran into this guy the other day. He looks like he could still lace them up. We appreciate you, Matt. We are also brought to you by Cardinal Cleaning. They can be reached at cardinalcleaningonline.com and 217-679-6567. The owner-operator, Adam Springer, local baseball dude, family friend, stand out at Chatham Glenwood in the mid-'90s. Also had a stellar career at Rend Lake and Kentucky Wesleyan. Cardinal Cleaning can take care of any cleaning needs you have. Home, business, restaurant, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever you need, they can take care of you. Get a hold of Cardinal Cleaning. They'll do the rest. We are also brought to you by Sheehan and Sheehan Lawyers, located at 1215 South 4th Street, Suite A. They can be contacted at 217-544-0701. I'm talking Pat Sr., Pat Jr., and Willie. They can be contacted for adoption needs, agricultural law, business and commercial law, estate planning, real estate planning, taxation, traffic and minor traffic offenses, personal injury, wrongful death suits. And I grew up with Willie playing baseball on the Southwest Braves. We were state champs. He played high school baseball and soccer at SHG. Pat Jr. was an accomplished baseball player at SHG, SCI, and finally the U of I. We really appreciate the Sheens here. Love this guy. Love this family. Great, great family. So go see these guys. Appreciate you. We are also brought to you by Sitco Chiropractic. They can be reached at 217-525-2035 and sitcochiropractic.com. They offer chiropractic care, corrective exercises, lifestyle advice, nutritional counseling, spinal and postural screenings. They are located at 205 North Grand Avenue. Love the Sitco family. From the dad, Steven, to Kyle and Casey, I grew up with them. Their brother, Tyler, was a big-time baseball player at SHG and SCI. There's a reason they have over 70 ratings on Google, and they're all 5.0. These guys are great. I went to them a few years back for some back issues I was having. They'll fix you right up. Go see Sitco Chiropractic.
You rent this house. You find this house that's like a 6-bedroom house, and it was almost like a double-sided, but old. I mean, this thing had to be built like in the 1880s.
Yeah.
And floors creaked. They were slanted, but it was like cheap. We all paid like $100 a month to stay here. Okay.
That's
but
fine.
It was bad. And one night we get back at like 3:00 in the morning from a bus trip, and we walk in the house, and these bats start flying out at us. And not just like one bat, like several bats.
From inside the house?
Yes, they got into the house somehow.
Oh, my gosh.
So we all are like, we're grown men, okay? Never seen 6 guys more scared to death in my life. We're lined up like a Scooby-Doo cartoon. Like around the head, we got garbage can lids and like broom handles in our hands. Like, what are we going to do? Like beat the crap out of these bats? But that was the kind of place that we were living in. I mean, so it was rough.
Yeah,
we looked forward to going on the road.
In minor league baseball, you can end up in some very strange living situations.
Oh, yeah.
right? Whether it's host families, whether it's an odd house like
did,
that.
And the host families are amazing. That'll be into the next year. But like Oneonta did not have that, and yeah, we were living in some rough quarters. But
all right, so we're going into our first off season here. After you've had your first taste of pro ball, what are you feeling like you need to address? What how does that off season look like for you? Are you
just thinking about getting bigger, faster, stronger. Really trying to think about it was my first time feeling like, man, that was a grind.
Yeah.
That was a grind. Like full college season, then you go into pro ball.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna have to start taking care of my body a little better.
Yeah.
And really trying to get bigger, faster, stronger. So, yeah, I mean, working out. I mean, and I keep in mind I was only home for like 3 or 4 weeks, and then I go to instructional league, which is like a 6-week deal down in Lakeland, and you're playing inter-squad games every day. So that was a grind.
A lot of baseball, man.
A lot of baseball.
Yeah.
And that was an eye-opening thing because you go to college and like they give you curfews. You get into pro ball. I had turned 21 in Oneonta, by the way.
You guys were kind of young.
Yeah,
for your age.
Yeah, turned 21.
Grade. Yeah.
And that was a riot. I mean, a bunch of guys I barely knew taking me out on my 21st birthday.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, like get through that. We go down to instructional league, and so then you're working out all morning, drills, batting practice, and then you play an inter-squad game in the afternoon, or you're playing the Indians or whoever else are down there. And then they give you a curfew at 11 o'clock, being like, man, we're grinding this out all day and we can't even go out.
Right.
Like, so we missed curfew one night, and that was not a good situation. So
Learned your lesson?
Yeah, the next day we were having to play in Orlando, and Gene Roof, who was a great guy. I mean, great guy. He was a big fan of mine. We're going over. He's like, well, none of you guys are playing today because you missed curfew. And the reason we got in trouble because there was like 2 groups that went out. We go out. We ended up on the wrong side of the lake. We missed curfew by 2 minutes. We got back at like 11:02.
Yeah.
Okay. Another group, they were way late. So they call us in the next day and say, what the hell were you guys doing out so late last night? It's like, oh, we just got turned. Like most of us said, we got turned around. We were late. So we're sorry. Other guys said, well, we were going to get something to eat. Oh, really? Where'd you go get something to eat at? And none of them had their story right. So they assumed that all of us were just out partying all night.
Oh, God, you got lumped in.
So we ran, I'm not kidding you, 70 60-yard sprints.
Oh, my gosh.
And then we ran what are Apple Jacks, on a basketball court.
Yeah, Suicide's Apple Jacks.
Suicide's Apple Jacks on a football field.
Oh, my gosh.
We ran I think we ran 8 of those.
Wow.
Yeah, it was brutal. Like it's like, well, guess we're not missing curfew.
Right,
anymore.
not missing that again. Did you work this off season, or what? Were you able to kind of get by on your signing, or?
So definitely that, living on the signing bonus a little bit, but I was doing hitting lessons.
Yeah.
So, and that's really when I started. Yeah, I was doing a lot of lessons because I started giving lessons like Greg Morantz.
Right. Yeah.
And
future brother-in-law.
Met my lovely wife.
Yeah.
I've not met. I mean, started dating Melissa.
Yeah. Was that at the hitting center, or where were you giving those?
Some at the hitting center. I was doing some out there, but then some of it up at Kulovics.
Kulovics, man.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I
love that
Tony
I keep
for
getting to bring
us,
up Kulovics on these.
Yeah. God bless
it.
Tony for letting us use that facility all those years.
What a special little place.
Man, we did a lot of work. That's the lab up there, man.
It really was. Totally, man. So many college pro guys were up there.
Yep.
Like, I wish I could like take a picture and show all you guys what it looks like, but it's just a simple, like double tunnel above this guy's auto body garage. Yeah, that's it. And he let all the dudes from the area kind of be up there and do their thing.
That's right.
Free.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't asking you
back.
for money for your lessons or anything.
No, just love giving back. And
just love baseball.
Yep.
Really cool with Tony K. All right. First spring training. What's that like?
That was fun, man. I mean, like, spring training energy is just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you get down there, you feel like you're on top of the world. You got all the opportunity. But then you, look around, it's like, man, there's a lot of dudes here.
Right.
A lot of guys.
Yeah.
And in Lakeland, I mean, they had Lakeland was a little bit different because a lot of teams don't have dorms. The Tigers did. So you're living in these.
Oh, really? Actual dorms, like military kind of.
Yeah, kind of really shitty dorms.
Doesn't sound fun.
It was not good. But, I mean, you're right there. The only thing good about it is, you roll out of bed, You get your breakfast.
You got to worry about it.
You're at the field.
You're there.
I mean, you're right there.
Yeah.
So
that's nice.
That was the only good. And they've since redone them. They're probably a lot nicer than now than what we.
I mean, were you feeling like you stacked up against all these people you're seeing? I mean, there's like 100 outfielders there.
Yeah, I mean, there's that there's guys that stand out. I mean, there's some, guys that are just, just bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
But
blessed.
But I remember I ran. I was always in the top on the running.
Sure.
I was always on arm strength. I was there. Hitting wise and batting practice, you could hit them out with the rest of the guys. Just in games, I always felt like I was missing fastballs or just fouling pitches off.
Yeah.
And so, but I get sent to the team that I thought I was going to go to, which was
West Michigan,
and that is an awesome place to play.
Yeah, this is A-ball in the Midwest League, West Michigan.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, and what a great league, Midwest League. So I mean, teams like Peoria, Clinton,
really cool.
Iowa,
right.
Quad Cities.
So some family can come see you.
Absolutely,
Pretty cool.
We're local. I'd started dating Melissa, so she's trying to finish up school at U of I.
Cool.
And getting into chiropractic school,
right.
And so she's pumped up that she can kind of be close and get on the road when she needs to as well.
I'm looking at the stats here. It looks like they ran you out there, like you were their guy.
Mm-hmm.
Were you playing mostly right, or?
Yep, mostly right. Some center, some left.
When I look at the story of your stats here over your career, I have it right in front of me. This looks like the year where they ran you out there every day. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And just tell me about how that year went.
Yeah. No, I struggled. I struggled, and I was hitting a lot left-handed.
Right.
And I started getting exposed a little bit. But I felt like I was just fouling every pitch off. It's like one of those years, I felt like I was 0-2 every at bat.
Yeah.
And you've been there. Man,
gosh, I need a break.
Why am I keep missing these doggone pitches? It's just brutal.
What do you attest that to?
I don't know. Yeah. It was kind of those head scratching things.
I don't know. Right.
Head scratching things, I had guys that were they as an outfielder, there were starts like, well, you gotta hit the ball in the air. You gotta hit home runs.
Yeah.
We know you can run. We know you got a strong arm.
Right.
But as an outfielder,
especially if you're a corner
to get to the big leagues, you got to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Right.
So, you start trying to lift stuff, and what happens? You foul pitches off.
Were you trying to lift anything at Miami when you're hitting all those dings?
No.
It just
no,
happened.
I told you I was emulating Kai's swing,
right.
which was just boom, straight to it.
Yeah.
And I remember some hitting coaches, and all those guys like Tom Runnels and Barbaro Garbe, Willie Horton, they said, Jason, your swing has to evolve. You got to start using your lower half. You got to load, and you really got to start trying to hit balls in the air. Yeah.
They were saying, okay.
Well, they said, you can't just be a contact hitter.
Right. You got
to get to the big leagues.
Sure.
You can't just be a contact hitter. It's man. So you start tweaking things, and you're taking all this information in. And
you want to be coachable and feel like
right.
you're doing what they say.
So I did, and maybe I was, and the manager up there, Phil Regan, and he was a great guy to play for. He was always a big fan of mine.
Okay.
Matter of fact, he said, Jason, do you need to just bang your left-handed swing and go right-handed? And I'm like, no, I tell you, Phil, I feel like if I pick up a bat right now, if you said pick up a bat and show me your swing, I'm going to show you my left-handed swing first.
It looked better. I agree. From what I remember seeing, your left looked better.
Just felt more natural.
It was pretty.
So he's like, okay, well, that's what I needed to hear. He's like, we're going to get you your bats and keep running with it and do the best you can. And, and just so you know, Phil Regan was a guy, he had my back. It was great because there was probably times they were like, well, send his ass down.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, this is my guy. He knows how to play this game. He plays it hard every day.
Love that.
And there was one time where he actually left as manager because this might have been the next year. But anyway, there was a high prospect, a high guy. I won't even mention his name, but he was on second base. He pinch runs me for this guy. I steal third, and then I score on a sac fly that won the game.
Yeah.
And after the game, the brass, the head guy said, you can't pinch run Knoedler for that guy because he needs to learn how to run the bases. He goes, I'm trying to win the doggone game.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me how to manage.
Yeah.
He goes, no, we're telling you, Phil, you're not going to do that again. He goes, well, then I'm not going to manage anymore. He walked out, and they eventually brought him back. He goes,
Really?
fine, you can do it. So
That's, minor league baseball is so interesting because it's like, yes, you're trying to win, but you're also trying to develop players too. And it's like there's a tug and pull.
There's an organizational thing, and it's all about the big leagues, man. Like it's all
Right.
about how can you get this player up there.
Right.
And there's prospects and suspects, and I was on that prospect side for a while.
Prospects
and
and
eventually
suspects.
I became a suspect. So. Yeah.
Slid down.
That's it. But I mean, I was a guy. I mean, I was I was in West Michigan for 3 years, which tells you how I was playing.
Right.
But
That's not something you want.
no,
You don't want to be in the Hall of Fame.
No,
in
you don't
West
want to be at the
Michigan.
same place 2 or 3 times.
You're in the Ring of Honor there.
But the guys I met, and then I ended up playing for Matt Wahlbeck up there.
Okay.
And we ended up winning a title in the Midwest League and all that. So
That's awesome.
there's positives that come out of it. And
So, man, this is like let's just say your first year in pro ball. We'll just wash it because a lot of people struggle in their first year. This is like, I'm going to call this your first real year. You did a full spring training. They ran you out there every day. We struggled. How does Jason Knoedler deal with that? How are you feeling in your head?
yeah, in my mind, I felt like, okay, still in my second, really year of switch hitting. So
I can
it's
still
like
figure this out.
Just got to put the work in and figure out how to not foul these pitches off and move them forward because I really did. I remember my dad calling all the time. He's like, what's going on up there? I was like, well, I'm fouling off every good fastball that I get.
Yeah.
And then I get a nasty slider or something. And
then I walk back to the dugout.
Yeah, and I walk back to the dugout. It's real simple, Dad. It's real simple. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. But I still feel good. I'm still confident in my ability.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was like, I just got to figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm looking at the stats here. I didn't already say those, did I? I don't think so.
Oh,
for the second year?
From West Michigan or second year?
Yeah. Second year, West Michigan, 135 games, 497 plate appearances, 417 at bats, 5 bombs, 3 triples, 14 doubles, 18 stolen bases, 209. So but 145 Ks.
Yeah, so striking out.
Yeah, having a hard time seeing it.
That was the big number. Just striking way too many.
Yeah.
Just striking out way too many times.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So then, we're going into the off season here. What are we working on? Changing, thinking of how are we progressing
just trying to
here?
come up with. I felt like my approach just wasn't very consistent. So I couldn't focus on the results. I needed to find an approach that I could stick with because, you get hitting guys all over the place. I mean, they had hitting instructors coming in all the time.
So much
almost
information,
contradicting.
man. Yeah, so much
you know
information.
what I mean?
Get your head spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I needed to find something that worked for me, So getting back and just trying to find something that I could repeat, a repeatable process,
right.
a repeatable approach. I felt like I had a good idea of what pitchers were trying to do to me.
What were they trying to do?
At the same time, just got to stop fouling balls.
How are they beating you? What was the scouting report on you? Would be your guess?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was different between left-handed and right-handed. I think right-handed, it was probably you got to bust him in, he could hit a ball away. Left-handed, it was opposite, you got to throw him away, don't throw him in.
Really?
Which was weird because that's all I ever worked on left-handed was hitting the ball the other way.
Away, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So.
Okay, when does Don Kelly come into your life?
Don Kelly was there from the get. He was. I lived with him in.
Yeah.
Oneonta. So he and I and John Burtwell and Alex Trezza and Dave Dave Maddle was in that house too. But so he was the 8th round pick. I was a 6th round pick. And so we hit it off right away, man. It was just he's a good old boy, honest as the day is long. And I
know you guys are best buds, and if you guys don't know, Don Kelly is the Pirates bench coach right now. He had a long career as a utility guy in the big leagues. I got to meet him when he came down for Jason's wedding. Awesome guy. Got to chat with him for this podcast here. I know you guys continue to stay in touch. I know you go when he comes through St. Louis or around those areas, he'll hook you guys up and bring the whole family down. And
we still probably talk. I mean, if we don't talk every month, it's every couple months and just catch up. And he's got 3 boys. And I think they're trying to get down to the St. Louis series, so I'm anxious to see him when he comes through.
I've got a couple Don Kelly quotes here, and I've got a great Don Kelly story that I'm going to drop here in a second. Clip. Drafted together, my best friend called you a tremendous dude. I can't say enough about the guy. He said your intensity stood out, how you approached your preparation, how you played the game, just life in general. He's a competitor, a tremendous friend, a great person. The way he cared about winning stood out. It was about the team, not himself. He always did things the right way to win. How he handled struggles and adversity really stood out. We always meet up when he comes to St. Louis. His family is awesome. Love Melissa and Tom. And I've got a great story, a clip here that I'm going to play. And I know you're, at BLS and in the financial game, and this might be a little black mark on your career, Jay. So we'll just see. We'll just see how this plays out here. I'm, of course, being funny.
Yeah. I guess the one that comes to mind is, and he would laugh, you probably know this story, but we were at Steak and Shake, and we didn't realize that it was cash only. And I go out, there's a bank next door, and I go out, I put my card in, and I put in like $40, right? Uh-huh. And 80 pops out. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I count it. Yeah, there's 420s there. And I go back into Steak and Shake. I was like, Jay, you're never going to believe this. I was like, I put in my card, put in 40, and 80 popped out. I didn't even get the story out of my mouth, and he is out the door. And he goes over and he puts in 100, and 200 pops out. Right? So he's over. He comes running back in. He goes, dude, same thing happened. And here I'm feeling bad. I'm telling him that, it's we should take the money back. And he's like, no, they'll figure it out. I mean, he's got the Tom and the banking background. He's like, they'll just take it out of our account. And I'm feeling terrible. Well, the next day we're at the clubhouse, and all of a sudden this police officer walks in, and this guy asked for Donald Kelly. Here, Jason set the whole thing up. The whole clubhouse was in on it. He got me good. This guy was going to come in and arrest me for stealing money from the bank. But yeah, it was hilarious. I mean, I couldn't even get the story out of my mouth, and Jason was out to go try it himself.
Hilarious.
No, absolutely. No, that is one of the best stories because, I mean, if you know Donnie, he's so gullible, okay? But just such a good dude and would give you the shirt off of his back. So when we got to the clubhouse, I'm telling Tom Runnels, who was the hitting guy at the time, we call him TR, and I said, we've got to get Donnie. So he's like, oh, let's get the police officer to put him in cuffs and say that he's going to jail, that it's a felony.
Oh my gosh. My gosh.
So he is white as a ghost. I mean, absolutely white as a ghost. And we are just standing behind him, just dying laughing. And poor guy, Donnie ran back to his locker and was like, here's the money, man. I'll give it right back to you. And he's like, yes, Mr. Kelly, do you realize that this is a felony? And you're just just totally making it up. And so that was funny. He wanted to kill me after that.
That's the kind of fun relationship you guys have, obviously. Yeah. I thought that was a great story.
Yeah. But no, Donnie, he just I don't think it was that year, but maybe the next year, he ends up dating one of the Tigers players. There was a Tiger player named Neil Walker.
Okay.
No, is it Neil? I get the brothers mixed up. But anyway, they have a sister that's a really good basketball player, played professionally, that was kind of hanging around, and we ended up going to play basketball with her, and then they hit it off, and now they're married with 3 kids.
Really?
And so buy stock in those kids, man.
Oh,
They're
I bet.
Good athletes.
That's cool. It's got to be cool to see him progressing.
Yeah,
in
no,
baseball.
it's fun.
Like he's
it's
doing
fun.
it, man.
And he does. He takes. I mean, he is a good coach. I mean, he really is.
I believe that.
Yep.
All right, man. So another off season here. We finished up this kind of second year of pro ball here. Anything different into this off season? You said you kind of were trying to figure some more things out swing wise.
Yeah. No, just continue to grind it out and work through it, and just trying to figure out how I can make the adjustments, because I mean it is. I mean it's like a chess match, man. They figure you out, you try to figure them out, and
it's back again.
Yeah,
and then they figure the next part out.
Yeah,
and
just continue to try to make adjustments and do what I can to be a player where I can continue to move up and try to get my break, because every year they're bringing in 60 new kids.
Right.
So
yeah.
And
I always, when I talk about off season here, I always, I got to be close to you guys, and You guys were machines. I mean, these guys were so professional in their process. It was, they had their strength training, they did their stretching, they did their conditioning, their throwing, their hitting. They took care of their bodies. You guys were still living at home at State for a while, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, so we would have been.
You guys did. It's being smart, saving money.
Oh yeah. Staying at home and but getting out to the Lager Dome almost every day to throw and hit and.
Yeah, and Bull, like I said it in the O'Malley podcast, Bull has been so awesome about letting pro guys, from the past come back and be around the program, and it's win-win for everyone.
Oh yeah.
You guys get to do your stuff. We get to see how a professional approaches the game, and it was just mutually beneficial. So shout out to Bull for always doing that. Amazing. Loved having you guys around.
And then Justin and O'Malley and I kind of start doing this camp.
You guys were amazing with that.
Did a winter baseball camp and had that thing going for a long, long time, and that was a lot. And Eric Weaver was involved with that too.
Big Weave.
So the four of us, we'd get 120, 130 kids and grind that out and get
cool for you guys to do, and also a nice money maker for you in the off season.
Yeah,
keep going
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Second spring training. This is where we're at now, and I've got it marked in here. April Fool's game ?
Okay, so that might have been the year. Yeah, so like some of the spring trainings always kind of
blend together,
and you never know what happens. But
sure.
So the spring training, you grind it out, and then you kind of see where you land. And that was probably the year where they sent me back to West Michigan. But it was all right. I was feeling good about that. I felt good about the guys that were going back up there. There was a couple of us that, there was a guy by the name of Mike Rebello that I'd lived with, and he was going back. I was going back. And so he's like, okay, we just got to go do our thing, man. We got to go put our work in, and then we'll get out of there quick.
You were not feeling deflated being sent back to the same place?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Because the other option was Lakeland, which is hotter than Hades.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Midwest League is a great league to play in. So get your work in, try to have success, and see where you land.
So still switch hitting.
Yep, still switch hitting. And there may have been a time during that season where I was tinkering, giving it up and pulling it back, and
so just like giving it up, like only hitting right, or giving up and only hitting left.
Probably just right.
Really,
I was struggling more on the left side.
Yeah.
So
if you would have had to, if I would have said, you have to get a hit to save your life right now, in that time, would you have gone up right or left?
I'm going up left.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I felt so much better.
Yeah.
Left-handed than I did right, and that was the frustrating part because I just wasn't getting the knocks.
Was there a part of you, and Justin kind of talked about this, and he said that maybe you wouldn't agree with it, but that maybe, and it's interesting because you did have this major success at Miami of Ohio switch hitting, but like maybe you could have used just more seasoning as a switch hitter, like started earlier, like maybe it would have been beneficial for you to see, 10,000 pitches by the time you're 20 as opposed to you've seen a season.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? Can you talk about that?
I would agree. I mean, like you've got to see those pitches.
You got to, man.
You got to see them.
You have to.
Yep.
Yeah. There's no substitute for that.
No, you're right. I mean, you can take as many flips, as many batting practice rounds, but I mean, there's a great tool now. My kid's got one down here somewhere that virtual reality.
He's got one of those?
He's got one of those.
Oh, is that cool?
It is pretty neat. And I've put it on, and I kind of get dizzy. But, I mean, it's
he uses it?
Pretty real, yeah.
He likes it?
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I've seen that. I've never, talked to anyone that's done it. So that's
we can hook it up. We can do it live on the podcast. Let's go. Take some swings.
I don't know how cool that would be for people.
Yeah. No, but you mentioned the April Fool's thing, and I'm not sure if it was that spring training that year or down the road, but funny story. I mean, like at the end of spring training, things are winding down. They bring up the minor league guys because the big league guys are going to get a couple of bats, and then they're going to ride off, just chill out. So I get the nod. Hey, Knoedler, you're going to go over to Winter Haven today and be ready to play the last couple innings of the game. I'm like, okay, cool, man, let's go. So I head over there, not knowing that it was going to be a barn burner. I mean, I think it was like 9-6 or something like that.
Yeah.
And they go, Knoedler, you're pinch hitting for Pudge. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go catch, but okay, you're going to go play left.
Ivan Rodriguez.
Pudge
guys.
Rodriguez. So I'm like, oh, shit. So I go up there, bases juiced, And I'm like, okay, well, let's see what they got. They got, I believe it was Westbrook. Westbrook was pitching for the Indians.
Okay. Yeah.
And first pitch, I'm not kidding you, brushes my jersey. But I'm like, oh, I'm not going to say anything. Okay.
Yeah.
So next pitch, I literally take the easiest swing I think I've ever taken in any level of baseball. Okay. Just a nice, easy, right-handed swing and park one
really
to the freaking moon.
Really?
Grand slam.
Oh,
okay.
boy.
To take the lead in the big league game. And I'm
man.
like, holy cow.
Yeah.
I'm running the bases, and I'm just like just not going to smile. I'm not going to be that guy that's cheesing all the way around the bases. So I score, high fives.
Inside,
Pudge,
though, you're smiling.
Pudge is like bear hugging me in the dugout, and I'm just like, holy cow. So then I go play left field. Long story short, we get to the end of the game. Can't wait to get on the bus. Finally, cell phones are like legit.
Right.
I call my dad, and it's like, hey, I hit a grand slam in the big league game today. He goes, yeah, good one, Jason. Ha ha, April Fools. And I'm like, no, listen, you old man. I hit a grand slam in the big league game today. Dial up your internet and check it out. And sure as shit, he dials it up. He calls me back. He's like, oh my gosh, but my own dad didn't believe me.
That's amazing.
Oh
my gosh.
So yeah. So that was kind of fun.
Dropping a tank in a big league spring training.
Yeah, on April Fools, but
on an effortless swing. Isn't it funny how sometimes that happens?
Weird.
Just like your whatever swing, and it's like, oh, how did I do that? How do I repeat that?
And that's why I try to tell these kids, like, I'm coaching a 15U team and a 10U team, and I see so much over swinging now.
Yeah.
But you see some of these guys on the in the big leagues just swinging out of their
ass.
shoes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't need to do it.
Yeah, it's like a different game now. I mean, like pitching has gotten so crazy where it's like if you're not trying to, at least at the big league level, if you're not trying to do damage every swing, it's gone are like the moving runners over and singles and small ball. It's gone.
I know. It's frustrating.
Yeah, it's a different game. All the analytics have made it very different.
Yeah.
And
that was kind of difference too. I mean, like the analytics hadn't gotten to the level it was at.
Sure.
I mean, I played, going back to the Miami of Ohio days, we opened up but we played our spring trip against Notre Dame, and their leadoff hitter was Steve Stanley.
Okay.
Was it Steve Stanley? Was that the leadoff hitter? Whatever his name was. He was a slap guy, lefty, just kind of base hit, bunted a lot. And I remember in Moneyball, his name was in Moneyball.
Oh, yeah.
Like these
Moneyball.
Just on-base percentage starting to become
that was
a big
the start.
thing.
Yeah. Crazy. So take me through this year. We started off at West Michigan again. We're in A-ball. I'm looking at similar stats to the year before. It looks kind of like bat about 210. Mm-hmm. It doesn't look 91 games. So were they running you out there every game? Or
it's kind of turned into kind of a platoon guy.
Yeah.
But I was one of the captains of the team. Like I was that guy. Like I was
heartbeat
camaraderie guy.
Yeah, sure. Always.
Which feels good to me. But if you're gonna move on, you gotta get back in the lineup. You gotta do your thing. And
you can't be a camaraderie guy to the next level.
That's right. That's right. So I mean, it was kind of one of those things. I was like, okay, well, is this really it? But it wasn't. I mean, the coaches and the roving guys were coming in and said, hey, man, you're still here, but we also brought in 60 new guys, so we got to get them at bats too. Okay. And it's going to be, you just got to continue to compete.
So not feeling defeated or like it's over or anything, like still got a chance.
No, never did I ever feel like I was defeated or not good enough.
It's not in your nature, I don't think.
You're an optimist. I got to do my thing. Yeah. Eternal optimist.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you attest that to? Where's that from?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I think
that's just in you, man? Is that mom or dad, or is that in you?
Yeah, I think mom and dad just never let us get down too much. They just said, hey, man, like, don't worry about this. Keep your head up. Let's go, So
you truly are the I mean, like, J.U. is like, a great guy, but you're sunshine. Like, you are walking in the room like, hey,
tell my wife that, will you? Tell my wife on your way out that, right?
She doesn't believe it?
Yeah, no. 'Cause I can get pretty grumpy. I'll admit that. I can get pretty grumpy at times.
we could all get grumpy.
That's right.
All right, so not running you out there every game, but still in the mix, still feeling like, you've got a shot. We get moved to AA at some point.
Yeah, so like I was a guy that like they knew that I could handle the move, and so they called me, and they had some injuries or something, so I bump up to Erie, and that's a special place. I mean, Erie is a cool place.
Yeah,
I mean, very neat. And but I had a couple of good games right out of the gate, and I remember getting a call from Phil Regan, who was our manager. Said, "Hey, man, you get up there. Now that you're there, don't come back. Don't come back." Well, by the time I listened to that, they were already sending me back because it was really just a fill-in gig. So
right, it's like what some guys don't understand is that sometimes getting moved up in the minor leagues is great, and sometimes it also kind of means you're more just like an organizational guy, and they just need someone to fill for a little bit. Would you say that's accurate?
Yep, I was definitely kind of filling that role. Like I knew I could handle it. They knew I knew those guys. They knew I could plug and play, and they're not gonna have to worry about any nonsense. And
what was that jump from A to AA? How would that feel like?
I mean, it felt good because I knew I was a guy that could handle it, and remember getting a couple good knocks, and gosh, I remember when I went up there, sharing an outfield with like Curtis Granderson. And,
cool.
You know, guys chucking. I mean, it was fun.
A jump in like the pitching, what you were seeing, like how big of a leap was that? Can you remember?
I don't remember like the stuff. I feel like people would always say this, like the higher you get, it's easier to hit because
they have control.
Guys have control, and all you got to do is separate, get your foot down, and get the barrel there. And so I didn't think that there was like any kind of big jump on the pitching wise.
Okay,
probably just more consistent. I mean, if anything, you don't have guys throwing 99 and don't have any idea where it's going.
That can be terrifying.
Yeah, exactly.
I had like a short couple years in indie ball, and like we would get guys that had washed out of affiliated that could throw gas and had no idea where it was going, and it would be
one
terrifying.
In your ear, and then they paint it on the black the very next pitch. So.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. All right, man. So we're let's just say you went up to AA and then came back to A.
Yeah, I think
finished the year there.
I'm pretty sure that's the way it went.
Okay, yeah.
Meanwhile, Melissa's trying to chase me all over the place and can't keep up.
So she's following you in some of this, like coming to see you.
Yeah, she was like heck, there was one time I was in Lakeland, Florida, and she gets down there thinking she's going to spend a week or two down just hanging out at the beach or down in Florida getting some sun, and she gets down there and I'm like, I'm going to Lakeland, or I'm going to Erie, or I'm going to West Michigan.
That's the life of a minor league ball player, dude. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, come follow.
Yeah.
So another offseason, typical stuff. Still staying with your process, the whole thing. Coming to the Lager Dome, gracing us with your presence, doing your thing. Going into this will be your third year here, and it looks like you're in the same place. You're West Michigan again, Erie again. Although more time spent in AA this year. Yeah. Can you take me through this year, and like better numbers at Michigan this year, and like we already talked about, this is going to be your third year in A ball with West Michigan. You are probably in their ring of honor, but that's not something you want to be. Right. Hall of Fame, West Michigan Whitecaps. Yep. That's right. Cool to
they love me up there. Yeah, they love me. Call me Racin Jason.
Is that real?
Oh yeah, because they had a great what do you call the guy? Like just a field guy, like a PA, like public address announcer or whatever. And when they ran out, they go, now batting first and center field, Racin Jason Knoedler, and that's stuck. So Racin Jason, yeah.
I love it, dude. Okay, so you look stronger numbers. I mean, you hit 242, 4 dings, 70 games, 48 hits. Stronger year.
Yeah, we're getting a little better.
Still switch hitting.
Yeah, still switch hitting.
Did they ever make you drop it in your minor league
career? They would never make you do that. Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah. I mean, there was probably a few stretches there where I may have batted right on right or left on left or something just to kind of mix it up. Yeah. But other than that, no, they're going to let you do what you want to do.
Did you ever get to the point where you decided you're like, I need to just go back to hitting right-handed, or this is not working?
It's hard to remember. There was one time where I did give it up for just a little bit because I got to try something different.
Yeah, I'm trying to move up.
I can't remember which years those were, but yeah. But I always felt competitive. The results just didn't get there.
Right.
So.
We haven't talked about any of like the housing situations in any of these places. What were they?
Yeah, we definitely So West Michigan had great living quarters. I mean, so we had my first year, we had a host family that was a doctor and his wife, and they were never home. So we had like this great house.
Nice.
DK and I actually lived there for a little bit. The Carruthers family. That's Dr. Carruthers. Well, then Donnie, next year he goes down to he gets moved up. So the next year I lived with Don and Sally Groders with Mike Rebello, we were the two guys, original draft class together.
Okay.
And so we lived with, and they're great people.
Yeah.
I mean, just great people. They were just a step below, like they'll laugh if they ever hear this, doomsdayers. They had pantries in their basement loaded with stuff. So like we could eat our faces off and never run out of food. I mean, so they were great, and God bless those guys because they were a lot of fun to live there.
So you've been through 3 years of pro ball now, and not really, let's say, lived up to maybe what the organization probably wants out of a 6th-round pick. Is that fair to say?
Probably, yeah. Oh, yeah. They probably were looking for me to move up a little quicker, and because one of my intangibles, if you will, was, hey man, this guy picked up left-handed hitting. He should be able to adapt quickly.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah.
Adapt quickly, and I just didn't adapt as quickly, but still, like, they said, Jason, you've got everything in place. We just need to get the production offensively.
Yeah. So you still feel like you had support from the organization?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, these guys, with Phil Regan as my manager in A-ball, Matt Walbeck, he named me captain when he was the manager at West Michigan. Pete Incaviglia, hitting guy.
Incaviglia was there?
Pete Incaviglia.
Oh, cool, man.
Inky was in in Erie. My hitting guy in West Michigan was a guy by the name of Tim Hires. If you ever find any of his stuff online, he's actually a really good guy.
Okay.
And so then who else? Gene Roof was the roving outfield guy,
Yeah.
and I was always one of his guys, if you will.
Yeah.
Say, hey, man, we got to keep this guy around. I don't care what he's doing. You should keep him around, keep him around, keep him around.
For sure.
So,
yeah, and
so
like,
I was there.
For those of you that don't understand what I'm talking about here, like getting drafted in the higher rounds and a team investing more money in you, they'll typically give you a longer leash, a longer time to figure it out, however many years, 3, 4, 5 years, versus someone that signs late round or free agent, and that's a very short leash. If you're not performing, you're gone.
Yep. Yeah, and the same thing, like if you give them a reason to get rid of you, there's so many guys.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy's a piece of
But you would have never done that. You were,
get out of here.
Yeah, you were a captain. Still getting named captain.
Yeah, he's done. Get this guy out of here. We don't need him around these other guys.
So it pays to be a good guy.
It does. It does. Yeah, and most ways. Just need to hit better.
Just need to hit better. Gotta stop striking out.
That's right. Oh, I remember getting messages from my dad. If you go 0 for 3 with a golden simber or hat trick or whatever.
Yeah.
And
been there.
He's just like, I'd get messages from my dad and he'd say, "Hey, Jace, it's your dad, John. Give me a call. My number's 217." I've known your number since I was 5. Okay, like. So funny.
It's your dad.
That's my dad. John.
Yeah. Man, I can still hear your dad's voice calling out to Joe. Joe!
Joey's starting to sound like my dad.
Is he?
Yeah. So,
that's terrific.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, love your parents, man.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you, I kind of skipped over this, but the Knoedler household was a special place. It was just Mom and Dad. I mean, it was a very inviting place. You always had your friends over.
Open door.
Yeah, Joe always had his friends over, so I was a part of Joe's group, and then Jason and Justin had their friends over, and we would mix sometimes, and it was just such a fun place to be. The spot to hang out, to congregate. Yeah. Mom and Dad would, they had a period where they would go. They got into going up to Peoria and going on the boat, so that a lot of times weekends would be kind of free there,
Open door, but you never know what you find when you walk through.
Oh man, yeah. And it was a unique house. The downstairs was a circle basically, where
you could just walk around. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe's. You would have to walk through Joe's room to get to other parts, and you had to walk through you guys' room to get to your parents' room upstairs, right?
Yeah, my room that I grew up in did not have a door.
Right.
Yeah.
I always thought that was
strange.
strange.
Can you imagine that? Yeah.
I've got one thing.
It was a very unusual house because the way it was built. I mean, it was built as a duplex, and then they turned it into a single family. So
I'm gonna go off on one thing here that I think is funny. You guys had like an orange Jeep or something? Was that right?
We had a red Jeep.
Red.
Yeah.
Okay, that got like 2 miles per the gallon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Gas
you guys-
gauge didn't work, so I wouldn't even be able to.
You
tell
guys shared it, right?
Yeah, Justin and I shared vehicles.
And then you shared like
Yeah.
do you have a Subaru or something?
At one point, let's see, when we went to Miami of Ohio, we needed something that could get us there instead of a '79 CJ
Right.
Jeep.
But-
So it was a some Subaru Legacy. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but what I always thought was hilarious was that you guys had to share all this stuff, but then when like Joe came around, like
got a freaking Mustang.
he got well.
Yeah.
First they gave him like a V8 Firebird when he turned 16.
Was that it?
So he did eventually got a Mustang, but I always wondered, tell me this, did Mama and Papa put an insurance claim on him or something, and they were trying to see if
I
he
don't know what they
would
did.
kill himself with
Kid's
this?
spoiled rotten.
He was, man, and you guys had to share all this stuff, and he got like a Mustang and all this
Nah, it was all
beautiful
good.
stuff.
All
Yeah.
good. Too funny.
Love Joe. Okay, so I believe we just finished our 3rd year here. Coming back for our 4th, we're going to end up in 2005. We're going to be in Erie and Lakeland.
Okay, so yeah, that would have been high A and
Lakeland being
Erie.
high A
Yep.
in the Florida League. You talk
Yep.
about hot.
Hot.
And it looks like you split a lot of time here.
Yeah, so that was a good year of a split. I think I ended up in Lakeland because they made the playoffs, so they got me back down there for that, and we lost in the championship game that year down in Lakeland. So
Man, I might have did I kind of skip your 3rd year here a little bit?
well, there was the year in West Michigan where we won the Midwest League was a heck of a lot of fun. But,
Okay. It all blends.
yeah.
It all blends. Let's just do
It does.
do your 2005 year. So, looks like about half the year in high A, half the year in double.
Yep.
Tell me about this
So
year.
yeah, so
Really, your
I mean,
last year in baseball.
Pretty much, yeah. So like
Yeah.
in Lakeland, I mean, you face some really good guys because it's high A, so you get a lot of guys on rehab assignment down there because you get them in warm weather. It's at spring training
Yeah.
facilities usually where the teams are playing. But we had a good team. I mean, I remember, we lost in the championship game that year, so it was a good year. But then I would bounce up to Erie, where I think at the time Donnie Kelly was there.
Okay.
In Double A, so I'd live with him when I'd go up there. When I came back, I'd live with some other guys.
Yeah.
Kind of back and forth.
Yeah.
But Pete Incaviglia was the hitting guy. Guy by the name of Larry Sweat was the manager. The pitching guy was Caldwell, and he was a great guy to just pick and talk baseball about.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was kind of a journeyman at that point,
Right.
and they said, "Hey, we got this guy Knoedler. We really like him. He really hasn't performed great, but we know we can plug and play where we got to fill
Yeah.
holes."
Right.
So, yeah.
Are you at this point? Are you feeling like, and not bad numbers here, like pretty strong and strong and high A. You batted 281.
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of as a platoon guy, so not getting to hit every day, but no, I felt good. I felt good about where I was at, and I was at that point, kind of like you feel like you're hanging on or hanging in, but man, all you need is a break. Like
Yeah, you need that
somebody
one
goes
break.
down,
Yeah.
then you're a guy there. I still felt like there was a guy. I was a guy that they could trust. Hey, man, if we needed a guy in AAA, we needed a guy.
Yeah.
And be like, this guy could go on a given night and get it done.
And compete
He
for
could
sure.
get it done.
Yeah, 100%.
So is he our everyday guy? Is he our
Right.
Is he our first plan? Is he our plan A? No,
Right.
but he's a good plan B guy. So just trying to kind of hang in
Yeah.
and see if I get a call somewhere along the lines. And
How tough is that to be a platoon guy? Like you might sit for 3 days.
Yeah,
and-
it's tough. You get your work in,
Yeah.
and you work while you wait.
How do you adjust? How is your routine process different than versus you're playing every day?
Yeah,
Is
I mean,
it?
I guess you just try to find some extra time to get in some swings, but you're still going through batting practice.
Yeah.
You're still getting your infield, outfield stuff in.
Sure.
You're still
Yeah.
throwing. You're lifting. You're on your in-season workout routine. If anything, you get in the lab and you try to take a few extra swings just to be ready.
Yeah.
So you work while you wait and see if you get the call.
Right. Okay. So we also spent about half the year in Double A, hit 228 there, so serviceable for
Mhm.
sure. Like, are you feeling like it's slipping away at this point? Like, or
Well,
It's
I just
your
you
window's
feel
closing?
because listen, I mean, after June comes around, they just drafted 50 new guys.
Right.
So, you're just, and you see the guys that they're releasing, and he's like, well, shit, they released him, and he was hitting damn near 300.
Right.
Why, So, like, that stuff starts kind of creeping in.
Sure.
Like, okay, where am I at? Am I done?
Right.
So, I'd start taking some classes, trying to make sure I finished my degree and all that good stuff.
You were at Phoenix, weren't you?
Well, I did. I ended up taking classes there, and
Yeah.
did take a couple courses at Miami of Ohio online because they had just started creeping in.
Okay,
like,
right,
that wasn't even an option.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you sign up for those classes, and then you do some other stuff online, but other than that, but I still felt good. But like I felt like after this season, okay, I ask for a release. Maybe get a fresh start somewhere.
You asked for a release.
At the end of, let's see, was that are we at the end of 2005?
Yeah.
Yeah. So ask for my release and say, because they were like, I knew there was coming back to spring training.
You weren't in a great situation.
It wasn't going to be a very good situation.
Yeah.
Outfield was loaded.
Yeah, you're
absolutely loaded.
You're 24 at this point. You'd probably be.
And remember, Detroit was getting pretty good right then.
Okay. Right.
They were starting to make the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
get into the. When did they go to the World Series? They go to the World Series in 2006. So they were loading up.
Yeah.
And making they were signing guys, and I remember Joe Bick telling me, he's like, "Hey man, this is turning into a brick wall in this organization." So
really,
yeah.
Man, that must have been so tough to ask for your release from your organization. Like,
yeah.
How long did you mull that over?
Gosh, I can't really remember. It was.
Was it right after the season or during? Or when was it?
I'm trying to think, because I remember in 2006 I went to spring training
with San
Francisco.
Right.
Yeah. So it would have had to have been. I can't remember if it was the off season or. Yeah, there was a conversation that was had, like, hey, if you want to come back, because even Detroit kind of wanted me to hang around and possibly even get into coaching.
Of course, yeah, I could see that transition.
They were like, you'd be a great organization guy.
Yeah.
We see a good path if you want to stick around. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't think it's going to work for me. So I was like, I still want to try to play one more year. And see that.
Dude, tell me if I remember this right. I swear I remember you talking during your career while you're still playing and saying, I'm never going to be a guy that's hanging around until I'm 30. You were like, if I make it, if I'm 24, 25 and it's not there, then I'm walking away.
Right.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate.
I thought I remember you saying that and then being powerful.
Yeah, because I'd heard a bunch of people talk about it, and like everybody's done playing this game at some point. So there's life after baseball, no matter if you.
And you always saw that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, not everyone does.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah,
So.
some people have a very hard transition walking away from the game, myself included. It's a tale as old as time. Like baseball players losing their identity when the game's over and being like, oh shit, what do I do now?
Right.
Like, I'm a baseball player, and my whole life is done. Like,
yeah, but there's so
not
many
you.
ways to still stay
That wasn't
involved.
you.
And I knew that there were still ways, because I'd already been doing lessons.
Yeah.
And I said, like, there's ways to stay involved with the game, and I knew I was going to have kids, and thank God blessed me with 2 boys and a girl, and so we get to be involved with all kinds of sports, but baseball is still a big part of our lives.
Absolutely,
so,
it is.
Yeah.
So you asked for your release, got it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I remember you got hooked up with San Fran, who's obviously that's JU's organization. Do I remember this right? Were you talking about making a transition to being a catcher? Was there thought about that?
So we got to back up a little bit, because I got married in January of 2006.
Right.
Okay?
I was there. Great wedding.
Yeah. So the funny part is like I was not signed with San Francisco yet.
Okay.
So like people were coming up to us, and Melissa had just graduated chiropractic school.
Right.
And she didn't have a job yet.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, oh, so what are they going to do? And Melissa's parents were like, well, I guess they're just going to live on love, because, because I did not have a job.
That's
she
terrific.
did not have a job. We were living at Bobby Knoll's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and it's like extra, like big room thing.
Looking back, it was like a hot mess. Like, what the hell were we doing? But,
Hey, you figured it out.
You got a good support system. And,
yeah.
But anyway, so like Joe Bick, my agent, had said, hey, because Justin was still a prospect and not a suspect for the Giants. He's like, hey, you need bring this guy in.
Yeah.
He's playing second fiddle. It worked for him at Miami. Give him a shot. Kind of that same role.
Right.
But I get out there and they're like, oh, hey, your brother's a pretty damn good catcher. Why don't you try it? I get back there and these guys throwing 95 with movement and breaking my doggone thumbs every day. But I was like, oh, I'm going to give it a shot, whatever. But, oh, my gosh.
Had you ever caught before?
You can pick up some things, but you can't pick up catching.
Oh,
no,
man.
hardly.
Listen,
Never
right.
gotten in caught a game ever. So, but they probably were just using me to catch bullpen so they didn't have to wear their other guys out. But got the spring and was playing, and I really did have a pretty good spring. I really did. But I remember we played the Cubs, and I remember hitting my last at bat in spring training. I hit a grand slam against the Cubs.
Really?
And then I dove for a ball and kind of tweaked my wrist. And I literally couldn't even squeeze a ball. I literally strained my wrist really bad.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, well, we're going to keep you in extended spring training. I'm like, no.
No thanks.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
So we get in the car and head home. Melissa gets a job, and
you start. Yeah. So that wasn't hard for you in that moment. That was like, this is it.
I think my wife would tell you that it was probably harder than I let it along to be. But like eternal optimist, I probably never tried not to show it as much. But it was tough. But I knew, man, I had opportunities. I was ready to still be involved with the game, but not necessarily chase it anymore. So
sure. Yeah. So then
I can live vicariously through Justin.
Yeah. So the game is over for you. You're, I guess, 25 at this point, about? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What then? I mean, I know, but let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I was 25. I take a heavier load finishing up my degree.
Right.
Remember going to talk to Mr. Morantz and said, hey, I'm done. I'd love any opportunities you have at the bank. And so he hires me as a management trainee, and I bounce around. I start on the teller line and in operations and doing all that stuff. Right. Melissa gets a job as a chiropractor because she's she'd finished up her degree there, and so we come back and got married in. When did we get married? We got married in January.
Yeah.
Had a kid about a year and a half later.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So yeah.
Man, this is the interesting part. I thought, and I talked to Murphy about this because I wanted to word this right. So you married Melissa, who is the daughter of Tom Morantz, the how would I say, president owner of Bank of Springfield.
So he's chairman and
Founder?
CEO of the bank.
Right.
His dad was one of the original shareholders.
Okay.
And,
right.
And was a chairman and CEO as well. So.
And I think this is such a cool thing. So obviously, you stepped into a nice situation for you, got an opportunity. Mm-hmm. But what I think a lot of people would, from the outside looking in, would be like, oh, Jason was gifted this, whatever. He got lucky, but Ryan and I, or Murphy and I, were laughing that Tom got lucky. Bank of Springfield got lucky. I mean, getting this, this very smart, very motivated, very, like I said, you have the gift of connection. You can connect with people. Hard worker. I mean, he got you, and I know you said you got in the mix, and we're learning all the small jobs and have worked your way up. And I just think, what an asset you have to be for this community, for Bank of Springfield.
I appreciate you saying that, but I mean, out of everything that we've talked about today, the best team that I've ever played for is the Bank of Springfield team. I mean, it's an incredible group. Yeah. And we have a lot of fun trying to do what we do, and we meet challenges head on. Yeah. I mean, and we get a lot of challenges. I mean, banking is it can be very challenging, but we have a lot of fun doing what we do, and it's a great team.
Was it okay how I worded that?
Absolutely. I
have respect with that.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah. So I mean, it was win-win.
No, Tom says it all the time. So we make this joke because Melissa and I have known each other for years. I mean, we went to high school together, but we're just friends. I mean, she was really good friends with the Beveridge twins, Maureen and Elizabeth, and we were friends. We hung out, but never dated. And then when I started giving hitting lessons to Greg Morantz, her brother, she was kind of around, and I joked and said, "Well, that's how they paid me. They gave me their oldest daughter, and it is just a joke. It's probably a bad taste in jokes, but but no, great family. And
Yeah.
but she was hanging around. We started hanging out a little bit more. She was kind of always around, and she realized she couldn't live without me. So
I got that's great. Yeah. I got a quote here from Murphy that I had to say. It was Tom jokes that he got lucky more in the marriage than J.A. did. And dude, like what I thought is so cool, and I looked into it a little bit, is Bank of Springfield has really invested in a lot of like athletes, and I hope you can talk to me about this, but I don't know if this is you or if this is Tom that really values, all the traits that come with an athlete, but I can think off the top of not top of my head, I've got it written here. You guys could field a baseball team. I mean, yourself, Justin Knoedler, Eric Weaver, who played in the bigs, Tim Wallen, big-time college player, Greg Morantz played college ball, Frank Stefano played pro ball, Murph Matthew at pro ball, Ryan Murphy, Division I. You guys had Chris Wright for a while. He was a Division I. And I know Division I baseball player. I know you've had athletes throughout the board. I mean, all across. You guys had Ryan Apron for a little bit. Yeah. So can you talk to me about this? What do you value in an athlete?
It takes all types. It takes all types to run a bank. It takes all types to have a successful organization. But what I will tell you is that what I like about hiring athletes is that, there's a number of things. I mean, they learn how to work as a team. They learn how to succeed, but more importantly, they learn how to fail.
Yeah.
They learn that there's a process to success, and they got to trust that process. They got to hold themselves accountable. They got to hold others around them accountable in order to succeed. And somebody that's willing to put the work in for that success is the people that we want to surround ourselves with. So it's a great environment, and that's what we try to breed. And if you're in it for yourself, that's tough to swallow. And that's So we don't hire just athletes. So as I say, it takes all types. But athletes do breed competition, and they breed that team mentality, and that's a good recipe for success.
Is it fun going to work and seeing some of these guys that you came up playing with and stuff too?
I couldn't do it any other way, man. Like I got to show up to work and love the people that I'm working with, and I'm fortunate enough to be in that boat.
Love that.
I mean, I'm sure you see it at the firehouse too. I mean, guys that you'll got to go run into a hot fire with, man.
Sure. Tell me a little bit about the family these days. Run me through them.
Man, I'm just.
I know you're blessed, man.
Beyond blessed. So I mean, it starts with my wife Melissa, who is the left and right arm of me, and I mean, she just does so much. And we've been married for 17 years now.
Yeah.
So,
Doctor of chiropractic medicine.
Yeah, well, she's retired from that.
Okay.
But she fills her days chasing these kids around,
sure.
And I could not do anything that I do without her. I mean, anything
amazing.
that I'm involved with, she's behind me 100%. But
Love it.
So then we've got Colton, who just turned 16. Driving, and 3 days in, a deer hits him.
Oh,
so
no.
that's fun. But
good
ball player, good athlete, works his butt off, and he's got a good head on his shoulders.
I know I'm always pestering you about him, trying to know what's going on with him, and you're always pretty humble about it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. I see a dude.
Well, I mean, he knows that he's got to put the work in, and he's done, and he's way ahead of where anything that I was ever.
I've already heard he's got a top class work ethic, and he's on it. So it's really
and he loves to compete, which is what I love about him, because he wants to win, and he wants to compete. So then we've got Claire, who's 13. She'll be 14 in another couple weeks here, but volleyball and basketball and. I'm hoping I can keep her playing basketball. But she really loves volleyball.
Cool.
But she's got a good head on her shoulder. She works hard too. And then we got CJ, who's 10, and I'm blessed to be able to coach his team. He's like me. He's like me.
Yeah.
He's
That's what I hear. He's the funny one. I hear.
He's funny.
Or goofy.
He's funny, and he's got a great heart. Probably the biggest heart in the family. Yeah. And loves sports. And he will need to find that he needs to try to work as hard as his brother and sister do, but he's the baby, so he's like Joey, like he's
Joey's the best.
So he's gonna get whatever the hell he wants.
Talk to me about the clubhouse.
So the clubhouse, so that kind of happened out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We Ryan Murphy and I were having kids, and we knew Eric Weaver had some interest in doing something. And Justin obviously was a great partner because of his knowledge in the game. But all of a sudden we buy a piece of ground and throw up a Morton building, and we got some batting cages and some hitting tunnels and pitching mounds, and it just kind of happened. And all of a sudden it's getting used all the time, which we love. It's kind of our way to try to provide a good space for kids, similar to what Tony Kulik
it's so
did.
Cool. Yeah, it's out here in Chatham, right?
Yeah, right there in the heart of Chatham, and it's a good little spot. So
yeah, it's really cool. I've been there a few times. Very cool spot. JU is involved in some way or no?
Oh yeah, Justin's involved. Yeah,
so. Are you guys 4 owners or what is that?
There's 4 of us, and
okay.
But gosh, the number of teams that have been through there now, and some of the pro guys that come back are using it, and some of the college guys. So it's good to have those guys around.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, buddy. We're at a fun part here. We've kind of run through the stories. I've got about some baseball questions. If you still got a little time for me here, some fun stuff, some light stuff, some light, some little more hitting. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, dude. Best baseball movie of all time.
Oh man, Bull Durham.
Yeah, me too.
Bull Durham is great. I mean, I've seen The Rookie 100 times. I've seen Major League. I mean, there's so many good ones. But if I could only watch one baseball movie,
same,
it'd be Bull Durham.
Would you say it's pretty accurate to like minor league life, in ways?
And there's a lot of good scenes in that are real. Yeah. If they ever made a modern day Bull Durham, I would. Yeah, that would be good. They should come back. They should try to run that back.
Yeah, it's my favorite too. All right, favorite players growing up.
So I told you already, Ozzie Smith was a poster on my wall, and then if I had to pick another one, Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, Tony
Interesting.
Gwynn.
I like that one. All right, did you guys play baseball video games coming up?
Oh yeah.
What you got? Favorite?
Yep.
Best?
I mean, Bases Loaded.
Yeah.
Was that regular Nintendo?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Classic.
It was unbelievable.
So good.
That was really good.
I think that was O'Malley's pick too, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think it
so.
was. Yeah.
So I just never did I was never big into the RBI or any of the other ones. But
all right, favorite metal bat of all time.
Man, what was it? The Red Line.
Oh gosh, those were
thing
dangerous.
Was dangerous.
Dangerous,
Absolutely
man.
Dangerous.
The bats back in the day.
Yeah, and I'm glad they I think we did. I don't think we didn't swing those in college, but in high school we did. So,
yeah. What did you guys swing at Lincoln? What's like Connections or?
Yeah, maybe the Connection, and then I can't remember what the Easton was called at Miami, but it was like blue and black.
Okay.
But yeah.
What about wood bat? What model? I remember you being a Louisville guy. If I thought.
Yeah. So I was a T141 guy or a 271 guy.
Yeah, and I have a ton of you guys used to be so good to me, and like there's so many broken bats. I kept all my broken bats. I've got a whole bin full of them that say Knoedler on the bottom, and they're all T141s, C271s, P72s.
Yep.
Yeah.
So. P72 was a good one too.
Yeah.
Colton played in a wood bat tournament over the last weekend, and I gave him one of Justin's like 34-inch 271s, and there's no way he was getting.
It's a lot of bat.
It's a lot of bat for him.
So in pro ball, what would you say was the bat you used the most model wise?
Probably 271.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think JU did too.
Yep.
He was a 271 guy too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I couldn't swing a top heavy bat.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Tough. What kind of intro music did you have? Do you remember?
So I was Back in Black, man. AC/DC was like the one that I stuck to forever, and I don't think I really ever strayed from that. Maybe I should have.
Some of your favorite teammates, a few.
Oh man, start at, gosh, I mean Justin's the best teammate ever. Obviously, my twin brother, but Lincoln Land. I mean, they were all great. Yeah. I mean, just phenomenal group. Getting into the the minor league stuff. We had in Miami of Ohio. I had a guy by the name of Clark Mace that I roomed with, and he was crazy. But it was a lot of fun. But he was the outfield. He was a center fielder. I was right fielder. He was still a really good teammate. He and Tom Yost and Brady Norai. Getting into the pro ball, Don Kelly was by far a great teammate.
Yeah.
Mike Ribello, I roomed with. There was a guy by the name of Chris Colazzi and Mike Scott, my first year in Oneonta. That was great. I'll tell you what, though, Curtis Granderson is just an ultimate pro.
Really?
And, I mean, you talk about the success he had and how humble he stayed. He was great. He was absolutely phenomenal.
That's a cool answer there.
Yep.
All right, some of your favorite ballpark songs, the ones that you always hear.
So ballparks, I mean, I got a chance to play at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. We played a minor league game there, and that was absolutely incredible. But West Michigan Whitecaps was awesome to play.
Yeah.
We didn't even get into the bench clear that we had with O'Malley.
Let's go right now.
Right there.
Let's go.
So he's in Lansing. I'm in West Michigan, and this made ESPN, by the way.
Really?
There was a play at the plate, pass ball, a guy by the name of Demetrius Heath. We called him Meatball. He's on third base. He runs home. He's out. But the pitcher is like standing over him trying to like punk him.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the bench is clear.
Yeah.
So we're just all running out. O'Malley and I find each other and kind of just dance around each other a little bit.
Hey, buddy.
Pretend like we're just, yeah. But we're
That's
not.
amazing.
Yeah.
You guys found each other in there?
Oh yeah.
Just
but
like
it was
wrestling around?
It was bad, dude. It spilled over in the dugouts.
Really?
I mean, it was
That's the worst brawl that you were part of?
For sure.
Part of?
And it was a good one. But yeah, that was funny because we cleared the benches against O'Malley. So.
Oh, we're already here with O'Malley. Tell me the story where you guys sunk this damn boat. How did this happen?
Okay, he told that story, but I don't even really remember sinking it entirely. But maybe we did.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean I will tell you off air how that night ended. And
Okay.
That was like
Okay.
because I had to get on a bus the next morning to come to Peoria, where like all my family and friends were going to be watching me play. So.
Yeah, some things are for the locker room and they will stay there.
That's right.
So I just asked you favorite ballpark songs and you answered favorite ballpark. So let's go songs.
Oh, favorite
too.
ballpark songs.
Well, you already. I was going to ask that anyway.
Okay.
So songs.
Cheap Seats by Alabama.
Oh man, yeah.
And man, in Lakeland, we had BP music that was like old funk music.
Really?
Like, it was amazing. It was like I don't even like the Gap Band and
like P-Funk, like Parliament Funkadelics type stuff,
yeah,
like George Clinton.
That
kind of stuff.
That was that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like the best BP ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel that. I think this is. I already want you to answer this a certain way, but most talented teammates that never played pro ball, guys you played with, couple. Give me a couple.
Oh man, so like Murphy's up there for sure, just because of his competitiveness, hitting wise. Man, there's so many good athletes. I mean, so many good guys that kind of came through that, if they would have donated their time more towards doing
Randy Rice.
Oh, well, yeah, no, Randy. Oh, yeah, Randy for sure. I mean, Randy was a heck of a baseball player, but, man, he wanted to be like Mike. Man,
I always used to love you guys talking about Randy Rice. To me, like, when you guys talked about him, it was almost like our local version of Bo Jackson or something.
Everything just looked easy for him.
Right.
And it just looked so doggone easy.
If you think if he would have really chosen baseball, he could have done some things, or at least played pro ball.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that he could have, for sure.
So interesting thing, I've actually contacted Randy Rice, and I'm going to do a cult hero episode. I'm going to do a Randy Rice episode.
Nice,
so
nice.
I'm trying to.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
All right. Advice for base stealers. Do you have anything that like you felt like you hung your hat on, or like that you were looking for, or anything like that? I mean, base stealing was your thing,
Yeah, I mean, I think really just staying loose, and then also, I think you pick up so much stuff before you're even on base. I mean, whether it's he's tipping that he's going, like whether it's his shoulder or his front foot, or there's always something to get.
Yeah.
Every pitcher has a routine, so if you can find out that routine and get a great jump, you've got the bag stolen. You're stealing it off the pitcher.
Yeah.
So.
Got more challenging for you in pro ball? I mean, you weren't stealing, obviously, like 56 for 58 in pro ball.
I mean, these guys are so good at
So
holding
damn
runners
good.
once you get to that point, and most of them have slide steps, and so it just got harder. Plus, you don't have the liberty. I mean, I had green light.
Yeah.
Go when you want.
Yeah, when you feel like it. Glove of choice.
In high school, I had a great Nakona.
Oh,
Nakona glove.
Yeah.
It was just great. I felt like that thing was like a doggone vacuum. But that's when I was playing shortstop.
Yeah.
Once I got to the outfield, I was a Rawlings guy.
Yeah. I I've looked at some pictures of you online, and I see a bunch of white Franklin batting glove.
Yeah, that's what Joe Bick we used to get us for.
White Franks, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, white Franklin batting gloves.
Because
that's what the kids are wearing now too. When they wear these Bruce Bolt? Oh my gosh.
I used to wear white BGs because you did.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Well, there you go. See, I'm a trendsetter.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, some of your funniest teammates, or a couple.
Oh man, Scott Blackwell was just an absolute.
Everyone always says he was a riot,
dude. Just
and probably some stories incredible.
You can't tell. Yeah. We had a guy, Derek Nicholson in Erie, that was just. I don't want to use the word clown because clown means that he's just a jackwagon. But he was just a funny dude. Mike Rebello was funnier than you know what.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Yeah.
That's a couple. Yeah.
3, yeah.
That's good. Do you have any advice for switch hitters or someone that wants to switch hit?
Man, get in the cage. Lots of swing. And when you start, don't try to overswing.
Yeah. Don't
overswing. If you're trying to get into it, you got to start slow and don't get frustrated with it because you got to remember, man, it's like you're starting as a T-baller. So
right,
it's yep.
Yeah. Do you feel pretty proud of your accomplishments as a switch hitter doing that late in your career? Like,
I mean, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm proud that I was able to pick that up. Anytime that you can accomplish something like that on a short stint, it's something you can be proud of.
Who were a couple of the most talented guys you played with?
Curtis Granderson, I've mentioned him. I mean, was just a freak, and the way he conducted himself was.
Your lovely
impressive.
bride has just entered the room.
That's right. That's
hey,
right.
Melissa.
Yeah, surprise guest. So.
Yeah. Keep going. Do you need us to pause for a second? Oh, okay. Right on. All right. Best coach or manager you ever played for? Or a couple, if you don't want to be so specific.
I will say this. I've picked something up from and picked up more than just something. I picked up a lot from all the guys that I played for, and it started, from Little League through high school. I mean, Stash and Steinwart taught me a ton.
Yeah.
You get into Tracy Smith. You get into Claude Krasik, Matt Walbeck, Phil Regan. I mean, just so many. So many.
What was your hardest year in baseball?
Hardest year?
Yeah.
Probably that second year in pro ball.
Right.
Yeah, probably just second year because you're still just like, man, I got to figure this out. Why
and it just wasn't going how you envisioned it.
And then when you know it's done, even though I felt like I was good, others would say that, man, you were kind of crabby at the end there.
Yeah. Yeah. And Melissa, I was just talking about how Jason's sunshine, Mr. Sunshine, but he says that you will attest that he can be crabby sometimes. Yeah? Okay. True. Melissa's confirmed.
Yep.
Jason can be.
Truth hurts.
All right. Would you have done anything different in your pro career? Any regrets?
No, I don't think I have any regrets. I think I put in the amount of work that I don't think I could have put in any more work. So I think I left it all out there.
Yeah, beautiful.
I really do.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, I've said it multiple times, but the K-Teamer hustle, your guys' work ethic was unmatched. So that is something you could put your head down on your pillow and feel okay at night.
Yeah,
you did everything you could, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Were there any experiences in the minor league that you felt were particularly important to you?
Any experiences in the minor leagues?
I know it's kind of a broad. It can be broad, but I don't know. I'm thinking you had some struggles in the minor leagues, and that is carried over into bouncing back in life, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, let's come back to that one.
Okay, we'll come back.
Come back to that one.
Best year, most fun year in baseball.
Well, I mean the 2000 Lincoln Land year was probably the most fun group and most fun I've had in a full season.
Yeah.
We also won the Midwest League one year, and that was right up there too. That was a heck of a lot of fun with those guys.
Is there a most memorable game you ever played in?
Well, that game at Doubleday Field in Cooperstown,
yeah.
hitting one from each side of the plate, and then and that was pretty special. And then I did up in I think Claude came to see me when I made that catch. I did rob a home run to save the game-winning run in the playoffs that year. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any rituals or superstitions or anything like that?
So in West Michigan, when I was named captain, Matt Walbeck I'd go into his office, and this is the year we won the whole dang thing. He would call me into the office, and before the game, we would just talk about the lineup, talk about the pitcher. We would chug what were the Mountain Dew energy drinks?
Oh, I know you're talking about.
And no alcohol, but they were like Mountain Dew, like just like shocks or something like that.
I know you're talking about.
And so we'd chug that, and then he'd give me a toothpick to chew on for the game.
Really?
And we ran it all the way through and won the freaking season that year. And so, to this day, I still think about that. It's like, well, get my toothpick and my Mountain Dew energy drink.
Any teammates that had any odd rituals or superstitions that you remember?
Yeah, nothing that comes to mind. We had some just kind of dirt bags in the minor leagues that did some crazy things in the locker rooms, but probably not stuff we can mention on.
Yeah. I think I already kind of asked you this in ways, but when did it become very real for you that you thought you had a chance of playing pro ball?
Probably that second year at Lincoln Land, and that scouts were around, and I said, okay, well, if I go to Miami, have a good year, maybe that's something, and maybe I get an opportunity. So that was probably it.
Okay. This is kind of a long one. Do you have any advice for like a 12-year-old that's like fallen in love with the game and like he really wants to, be a professional baseball player? Like anything that you can just think of that was like beneficial for you? Yeah.
Well, I'd say make sure that you're still loving to play the game. And don't overdo it, and don't focus on the results. Focus on the process. I mean, that's
cool.
It's everybody gets hung up on statistics these days, and you can only control so much in this game. So you need to focus on the process, and if you're comfortable with the process, and it's something that can be repeatable, then you can find success.
Yeah. I've noticed that Colt he's doing 3 sports, right?
He keeps himself very busy.
Yeah. So unique because in today's age, like these guys, these young athletes are specializing early, right?
Yeah.
Has that been like something that you guys have discussed and that was
I mean, like if you get down to one sport and you're doing it all year round, there is burnout, especially at the ages you're talking about at 10, 11, 12. I think it's important to be able to get away from a game, decompress, go do something else, and you're working different muscles. Yeah. It all matters.
Right.
I mean, it all
Great
matters.
Point.
So, I mean, Colton's had a busy summer with football, basketball, and baseball, and I wish everybody could stay in their lanes with these sports, but I get it. I mean, there's certain guys that are wanting to put in that extra time.
Right. And it's like, do you feel like you're missing the boat if you're not?
Exactly. And sometimes I don't know what we're chasing.
Right.
The teams that are playing 80 games in a summer to win all these trophies. I think there's a limit there. I don't know if it's 16 like we played, but that 35 to 40 games is more than enough in a summer, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Amongst the most successful teammates you played with, are there any traits or anything that stands out aside just from their talent, like actual physical talent?
Yeah, I think if you take a guy like Curtis Granderson, I mean, he never strayed away from doing what was right, playing the game the right way. He never was so into himself. He still was rooting for the next guy up. He was always, saying things like, hey, pick me up, I got your back, let's go. So those types of things I think go a long way because, you're not going to be the guy every game. So being able to pick a guy up will still make you feel good about showing up every day.
I love that. What lessons from the baseball, your baseball life to carry over to your business world and the world of banking?
Yeah. I think similar things that we've kind of touched on is, staying accountable to yourself, staying accountable to others, being able to say things like, "Hey, I got your back," that team aspect. And then again, I'm going to go back to the well and focus on the process. Like if you find something that works, stick to it, don't stray from it. But at the same time, if there needs to be an adjustment, make an adjustment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're at the end of our questions. We've wrapped up this journey. Dude, thank you so much. That's been
man. This is awesome. I've listened to I think almost all of them that you guys have done, and I've been impressed with what you guys are doing. I think it's a great idea. I hope you guys can continue to find some people to talk and talk about it, because it's just fun. And I mean, this is something that I'm gonna have in the bank for my kids. And
exactly, that was one of the reasons I wanted to do it. I just think, like, are you ever gonna sit down and talk to your kids for 3 hours about your baseball career?
Yeah, probably not. They'd probably be like, "Oh yeah, Dad, you were a big deal," But
someday they can listen to this and like have all the details of it, and it's cool to go back and talk baseball and think about the things that you learned and the people you met, and give some gratitude to, a ton of people were in your life that helped you. And helped you along the way.
And there's so many other stories there, and I hope if you get Justin on or get some others on, I think that'll be great, man. So I appreciate you guys are doing, and I'm thrilled to be able to donate the $100 for a cause, and I'll let you guys decide on what you guys want to do.
Yeah, so I was getting to that. Jason and Bank of Springfield are one of our new sponsors here, and I didn't know where this kind of podcast was going when I started it, but we've decided to make it charitable, and we're going to be moving. I'm not keeping a dime. Moving money to different baseball entities. We just gave money to Lincoln Land Baseball. We've got ideas of like UIS baseball, Southwest, Fairview. I mean, I'm open to ideas, but essentially baseball, and just putting money back into the baseball community here and trying to give it back. Baseball did so much for me in my life, and I'm trying to give it back in some way.
Yep.
So thank you for being here with me, man. Your story's amazing. I loved talking about the 2000 team and the switch hitting, and you coming up not as a top prospect, and then you developed this work ethic and became this world beater, and then kind of got brought to your knees a little bit in pro ball and had to figure some things out. And your life has turned out amazing. You're an awesome guy. A lovely family. It's so cool to see. Thank you for having me in your home.
Yeah.
And again, thank you for all that you did for me. You guys were truly like big brothers to me, and you looked out for me, and I don't think you probably even understand the type of impact you had on me. It was like a period in my life where I really needed some strong, mentors, and just that you guys let me hang around you I'm forever grateful, dude. Thank you.
Yep. Well, I'm glad to have you in my life too, man. And like I've said earlier about passing it on, man, you're doing part of that just by doing this, and we got to continue to pass it on, man.
Yeah.
So.
All right, man. Well.
Yep.
So thank you to everyone out there listening. I really appreciate your time and tuning in. This has been so incredible talking to all these, baseball guys and amazing baseball people, and telling their stories and hearing how they went through it. So incredible, so fun. I'm just following my intuition here. Really enjoying it. Next up, we have PJ Finnegan in our next episode, and we're going to have Don Kelly take us out with a cool clip here. So thank you again, everyone.
It's tough on everybody, but he handled it well, and I think that's the thing for Jason and for all of us, right? When we get to the end of the line, whenever that may be, I don't think Jason had any what ifs.
I totally agree.
He worked his butt off. He did everything that he could to make himself the best player that he could be.
Yeah.
And, when I talk to my boys, I tell them the same thing. It's like none of us know when that last game is going to be. But if you work hard, you prepare, you do everything that you can do to make yourself the best player possible, whether that's in high school, college, pro ball, big leagues, you can look back and not have any questions. That's a success.